Oh, man, there's so much to discuss. I don't even know how to start this video out. I really don't, because I'm going to be all over the place in this video. I hope you guys don't mind, because I'm sorry, but I am not flexing a 4-point win over the Cleveland Browns. I'm not. Happy they won. Glad that they have a W this week. But, man, this coaching staff with 2 weeks to prepare for the Cleveland Browns, one of the worst teams in football, and this is what you come out with. Shame on them. There's a lot to talk about, and it's not going to be good. So let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
This video is sponsored by BetUS. It has been a rough road for the Philadelphia Eagles this season for all Eagle fans. Will the Eagles rise to the occasion or continue to play down to the competition? If I'm going all in, giving it my all for a Super Bowl, I'm going to bet $500 and get $7,000 back at the end of the year, and we still stay true to the team that we believe in. But will the problems continue? We will find out. Make sure to check out BetUS. Get a 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with promotion code YouTube150. I want to thank BetUS for sponsoring this live stream or video, and let's get back to the content. This season's getting weirder and weirder by the week, with really weird things happening. And this really involves Nick Sirianni and the amount of time that he's had to prepare for the Cleveland Browns, one of the worst offenses coming in, one of the worst teams, coming in with a lot of injuries, 2 safeties, 2 running backs, a linebacker out. I mean, you couldn't ask for more when it comes to injuries and at least helping the Eagles in some way. Okay, the Eagles have got to earn every yard, every down that they could get in this game. But I got to say, man, unprepared and there's just no creativity. There's just nothing. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I got to say, had statistically a really good game. I can't really kill Jalen Hurts in this game a whole bunch as much as I do a lot of weeks, because I don't talk about Jalen Hurts without talking about Nick Sirianni, because Nick Sirianni game plans for what Jalen is going to do in these games. Okay, that's why I say to myself, if Nick ever gets fired, I have to see Jalen Hurts under a different play caller when Nick is not involved the last few years, besides, Shane Steichen being here for, a year and a half, really coaching this team, coaching the offense and getting Jalen Hurts the right position to win football games. Okay, Jalen Hurts for this game was 16 for 25, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, 126.1 rating. Okay, so he had a pretty good game. Okay. The one issue I'm having, man, is really getting this fucking team into a rhythm beginning of the game. Like, what is with these first quarters? I mean, still, the Eagles didn't score a fucking point in the first quarter of this game. Not a point. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing here. I don't know if Nick is running his own 15 plays. They ran the ball with Saquon first play. It was like 5 yards. And then they threw 2 vertical passes to the sideline. One, underthrown to A.J. Brown, a contested pass on the right side to Devontae Smith. I mean, just it's like if they throw the same play to one side, they throw the same play to the other side. No creativity. What is with the vertical passes, man? We have to earn those. We got to earn those. You have to challenge the defense and make them worry about things. Barely any checkdowns, barely doing other things. Like, they didn't run a mesh concept, a crosser, until literally the end of the second quarter with Devontae Smith running across the field from the left side to the right side in traffic, catching the ball, turning upfield for a first down. They actually used that same play. They actually used the exact same play for that Devontae Smith touchdown later in the game. A.J. Brown, they took a few shots to A.J. Brown this game. They obviously had one. They had one mid-game, which I thought it was really good, and he was covered. I mean, literally, A.J. Brown grabbed the guy's arm and the ball, put it to his helmet, and fell to the ground with it almost to the back of his helmet. The ball was right there and did a really good job. And then, obviously, the 2nd and 11 to really close the game at the end, which, second down, 2nd and 11, you got 2 tries. I mean, imagine if if Jalen Hurts throws that pass. I knew they were going to bomb it on 2nd and 11. You could run literally 2 plays and you want to bomb it on 2nd and 11. Of course, people are going to say that I'm wrong and be like, well, they got, he caught it. Why aren't you happy about it? A.J. Brown caught it, but what if it was incomplete? What if the play went wrong? What if it went, you had 2 plays to really waste some more time and, try to put this game away instead of taking the long ball downfield to really end this game as fast as possible. So I thought the 2nd and 11 decision was really bad, even though they got it. I think one of the most interesting ones that we had was the 3rd and 1 in the second quarter, where they had a pass to Calcaterra for 20 yards, middle of the field. Okay, there was a couple times. Grant Calcaterra had a really good game. He had 2 big plays, 1 20-yard pass. He played really good. Dallas Goedert hurt yet again. Jesus Christ, man. Like, this guy just can't stay healthy. I'm already ready for another tight end in Philadelphia. I'm ready to draft another tight end because this guy just can't get out of his own way and stay healthy. It's just how it is. So, they ran they threw a 16-yard pass to A.J. Brown. They started at the end of the second quarter. They really started to get the short passing game going. A.J. Brown getting a short pass, turning upfield, breaking a tackle, which was great. We miss A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith so much in this offense. And then it was 2nd and 1, something like that. And unfortunately, Saquon Barkley gets the check down. Saquon Barkley cannot cross the line, so he doesn't cross the line. He thought he did, I guess, or maybe he just went out of bounds way too early when they were trying to conserve some clock time so they could score. So because you wasted a whole play with Saquon Barkley on the check down, not getting that first down, it goes to 3 and 1. Okay, so for some weird reason, and yes, we already got confirmation from Nick Sirianni that he actually called this play on 3rd and 1 at the presser after the game to drop him back on 3rd and 1, taking an easy sack. They dropped him back, guys, on a 3rd and 1. Seriously. I don't, is this analytics? Is this, so it's already approved. It's already said to us that Nick actually went in there and called this play to drop him back and throw a bomb to the end zone on 3rd and 1. Are you serious right now? Easy sack for the Cleveland Browns. You're talking about Jim Schwartz that has a pretty aggressive defense, and as soon as he went back, boom, he was finished. He was done. There was no read options in this game. There was no play action. It's weird. There's other weeks where they run a lot of play action with no run game, and then they run the ball in this game a lot, actually, a good amount. And still, yet, there's no play action. It makes absolutely no sense. Shotgun, barely under center half the time, nothing. Okay, so it's already you're just making it too easy for the Cleveland Browns. So they get sacked right there, right? So now the Eagles have to kick a field goal. And guess what? Myles Garrett blocks the field goal, and Rodney McLeod, the ex-Eagle, runs down and scores a touchdown on the Eagles on the field goal. So it got tied up to 10-10. This game was so damn close. Easily the Eagles could have lost this shit. Offensively, like I said, Jalen Hurts is designated to listen to the game plan, the route concepts of what he has to deal with. This is the problem I'm having, where I can't just pass the coaching staff in my eyes and just say Jalen Hurts is the problem, the main problem, 100%. The only way I'm going to really figure this out is if Nick is fucking fired and Jalen Hurts has another play caller behind him. This is the only reason why. I probably give this 2 years and then to figure out later on what happens. Because I can't put, with this quarterback right now, as much as the number one thing with Jalen Hurts right now is he didn't have a turnover. So thank God, no turnover. That was huge. Statistically, had a really good game. There was a couple drives in the second half where it seemed like yet again another first half, second half, totally different, more productive. Okay, I'm not saying by a landslide, but more productive to think that Kellen Moore is calling more in the second half than Nick is calling in the first half. So it's just insane, man. It's just insane. So I like I said, the Eagles won this game. Offensively, I think they looked all right. They didn't look great. It's not even like they looked all right. I think, like I said, Jalen Hurts is dealing with what he has to deal with. he doesn't control, he doesn't control route concepts. He can't audible every single play. The coaches give him what he gives him, and that's really it. Okay. To go to the defensive side, I mean, look, the Eagles had a few sacks. Josh Sweat had a sack. Dejean, my God, what an upgrade. I mean, he could be the Swiss Army knife for this defense if they actually had a better scheme and they were more aggressive. And I got to say, man, like, Bryce Huff didn't do much. Graham made a nice stop on an end-around play that resulted in a field goal. Quinyon Mitchell almost had his first pick, but Chauncey got in the way of that. It's nobody's fault, but that's just what happens. Quinyon Mitchell was targeted 5 times. He had a pass breakup. They really strayed away from him because Slay ended up getting hurt later in the game with a knee injury. Seems like he is fine. We'll see what it looks like. And I actually didn't really fucking care that he was hurt. Isaiah Rodgers came in, then he got hurt, but he came back. I think he slammed his head on the when he came down. I think he slammed his head on the grass or something like that on the field. Then I just saw a lot more from the young guys that just give more intensity, that want to hit somebody. Cooper Dejean wanted to fucking hit somebody today. I swear to God, man. He had a sack. He had another quarterback hit later on when they were backed up into their red zone. When the Cleveland Browns were backed up into the end zone. He had a nice punt return to get the Eagles in good field position. He had a really good coverage back at the end zone, very tight coverage. Cooper Dejean plays fast. He plays physical, and man, that fucking guy wants to hit. I love Cooper Dejean. That upgrade over Avonte Maddox inside corner, man. I mean, just imagine they can get Sidney Brown to this secondary. They could do so much more, and they could play a little faster with a lot more youth coming in. It just feels so much better. Like I've said this before, I feel like there's too many players on this defense. There's some guys on this team that are just perfectly fine where they're at and losing games. They've made millions of dollars. They just don't care. And I'm talking about guys like Slay and some other guys that might not even care on this team. So I saw Ringo. I mean, Ringo had another one where, somebody ran up the right sideline and Ringo just popped him. Boom. Just popped him. Just showing that they just have some energy and their sense of urgency, and they want to hit somebody and they want to win, and not this passive personality bullshit, because I already feel like Nick is losing the culture when it comes to this defense. Okay, I thought Zach Bond had an okay game. He had a couple good tackles in a row, and he was all over the place, and they had him in a lot of 5-man fronts. They ran some stunts here and there. So Nakobe Dean, Nakobe Dean didn't have a great game at all. He missed a couple tackles. He looked god-awful. Like, Nakobe Dean, his coverage is bad, his tackling is bad, but I think in a more aggressive scheme, he just fits better. But he's flashing, but he's not showing me too much consistency at linebacker. So linebacker's taking a massive hit. Trotter Jr. really needs an opportunity right now. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's really not playing well. I got to say this. He's really not. Reed Blankenship was quiet. I mean, but the defense made some stops. So if it wasn't for Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown really bailing out that offense, because, talent only bails you out for so long, the defense definitely made some stops. So really, I can't complain about the defense too much. Deshaun Watson looked bad. They got some pressure on him at times. Bryce Huff had like a half a sack and like a couple tackles. And they actually had Bryce Huff in a 4-point stance. If I'm not really lying, they had him in a 4-point stance. He looked like his get off was a little bit better. And we're talking about a guy that's progressively trying to get better every week by not much at $17 million a year. But that's where we're at right now. And then, Deshaun Watson looked bad. He got sacked a few times. The defense was getting gashed in that second half. They were playing heavy zone. They weren't getting pressure. Deshaun Watson started to get some passes off. And, I think by like the second half, they were getting stops, obviously, but there were times where, Watson, I think early in the second half, he was like 10 for 10 because everything underneath was wide open. And when you have no pressure and you're playing heavy zone, everything is wide open. Everything is open underneath for tight ends, wide receivers for 5 to 7 yards, wide open. So he's going to get those underneath passes. He's going to pad those. Deshaun Watson's going to pad his stats up nicely because everything's open at that point. And your dump offs are going to be free yards. So they did pretty much the same thing they did last game, but they just looked like they were more physical this game. Tampa Bay game, they didn't show up mentally or physically, but at least like when they actually blitzed and got pressure and did a few things here and there, I thought the defense played pretty good. I mean, but like I said, they weren't perfect either. I'm not expecting both sides to play 100% perfect, and that's all I care about. No, I mean, at least as long as the defense is making stops, the offense is getting more opportunities, and there were some opportunities with the offense in the second half, but man, you get a good return. You back Cleveland up into their end zone pretty much. You make them punt. Dejean has a nice return into the 40-something, the Eagles to the Eagles 40-something yard line, and then you got 2 false start penalties. When you get past the 50, you get 2 false start penalties, you move back, and then a sack. And I mean, it's just, oh man. It was really ugly to watch at times, but the way Nick after the game was flaunting towards the fans in the stands, like, I don't get this fucking guy. I honestly don't. It's very lackluster. We're going to be talking about a lot more about Nick Sirianni in the coming days because there's a lot of stuff that came out. What he said at his press conference about now he's calling plays for the fucking defense. I mean, you have got to be kidding me, dude. This guy is getting weirder. The guy shaved his head, goes into this game. I mean, I've never seen a team look so lackluster with so much talent that somebody would actually take this team and flip it upside down. This offense with your weapons, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, bailing out this offense. The run game wasn't working. Sirianni, man, has got to stop. It's really got to stop. He's already talking at his post-game press conference about getting booed and how it's affecting the team. Stop, dude. Stop. You've been a head coach here for how many years? You're supposed to embrace what the Eagle fans do, whether it's positive or negative. You know this is what you're going to get every single week if you don't play up to par with how we know you have to play up to par. There's no excuses for that anymore. Just booing is not productive. I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. Like, seriously, this guy has got to stop. He goes up to the crowd and he's like, you're not booing now. Now I know you're not booing now. I mean, I can't even explain it, dude. The guy is getting really weird. His post-game celebration speech, weird. And nobody was even excited to even hear it. Nobody had any interest after this game. You're flexing to your fans in the front of stands behind your side of the sideline. I don't hear you booing now. Is that what you're going to say? Really? You're going to flaunt 4 points. Okay. You beat the Cleveland Browns by 4 points. A win is a win. They won. I'm glad it's in the books that they got the win. But man, dude, this is not promising me that they're going to change things. It's really not. It's really not, guys. I'm sorry, but I wish I could say things are going to change. But I mean, between what the head coach does is going to affect your quarterback. I don't care if your quarterback is throwing all these passes. Okay, Jalen Hurts is not creating the route concepts. And you're not challenging the defense, and your quarterback is going to pay for it, and he's going to get pressured. And when it's cover zero blitz, he's going to get beat with nothing going across the middle, barely use middle of the field. 2 weeks to prepare for this team, and this is where you're at. I'm trying to be as not as professional as possible about this game, but not to try to hurt everybody's feelings. But guys, this team sucks. Simple as that. The Giants are gonna make it really tough next week. I'm sorry, but they are. The Giants are a better team than the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns look this bad. The Cleveland Browns lost another running back that came back later on. Okay, they lost their third center. They lost their second center coming into this game. They had to move a guard. They had to move a guard to center. In this game, they were out 2 safeties, 2 running backs, a linebacker. Seriously, I mean, I'm not lying about it. And the Eagles just seemed like they played down to the competition of how weak this team is, and they looked as bad as the Cleveland Browns did. The NFC East seems to be wide open still wide open, but I don't care what other teams are doing. This team has got to get their shit together. This team has got to take care of business every single week on their own. They really have to take care of business. This is not good for us. I'm sorry. I know I've been going back and forth talking about the same things in this video, but it's very frustrating to me what's going on here, and it's not good. If the head coach and the quarterback are still clashing heads at this point, man, it's never going to get fixed. I don't think it's going to get fixed. I've wanted this guy fired really since really after the loss to Tampa Bay, I wanted him fired. And ever since then, it's just getting worse. Moro Jomo had a really big game. I thought he had some pressures. I thought he was doing really good. Jalen Carter had a sack, but it wasn't much. Jordan Davis did probably absolutely fucking nothing in this game. I mean, there's too many players that are just disappearing, not involved. I think the attitude was there today from a lot of the young bucks today, and I think that's what we need more of. I think we need to bench Slay. I think somebody else needs to play at that spot, whether it's Isaiah Rodgers or Keely Ringo or something. Like, I just feel like there's just more attitude on this defense, especially Dejean being in there was just a really small sample size. As much as I don't like this scheme, and some of the heavy zone and just giving up big chunk yards for no reason if you have no pressure and can't get pressure. I thought they had some pressure on Deshaun Watson a good amount of times, and Deshaun Watson tried scrambling. He got sacked for it. So, I think he escaped us maybe a couple times. I think the one thing I was afraid of during this game was we weren't going to have containment on the outside. There was actually a play from Nolan Smith I actually really liked. He almost got double teamed. He kept his containment on the outside and actually, only got the running back for a couple yards. It really wasn't that bad. I thought Nolan Smith actually played a good game, but it's a very small sample size of when I say good. When I say good from Nolan Smith, I'm talking like 1 or 2 fucking plays, not even that. And that's where I'm at with this roster, with this team, and going forward with 3 more beatable teams they could beat, okay? Don't laugh at the Dallas Cowboys for losing against the Lions, getting their asses kicked, because the ass kicking is waiting for the Philadelphia Eagles sooner or later. The Eagles have to face Detroit. They have to face Baltimore. And trust me, there's probably going to be a team that scores over 30, 40 points on them because they're going to keep letting this happen. I don't know. It's pushing the analytics. It's a lot more than that. I don't know. Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are sitting back and they're watching this, but are they supportive of this? And because the Eagles won yesterday, they might say, "Oh, we're on the right track," and it's all fake hope, fake positive hope bullshit. And that's where I'm at. I think they're relying too much on the fucking brotherly shoves. I couldn't even stand that today. Run with Saquon Barkley up the middle and just let him just be tough and use those ham thighs that he has to get through. I don't know. Something. Just make things simple for Hurts. And like I said, dude, Hurts statistically had a really good game. But he would have an even better game under a better coach that game plans better and give the offensive play calling to Kellen Moore. I mean, how many more fucking weeks am I going to say this? Seriously. It's going to be to a point where a paper bag is going to be over our heads really soon, sooner than we realize, because you're not going to get away with this every single game against, maybe against bad teams you'll get away with certain things because they don't have the talent to get it done. But you face a good team, they're going to stop every move you make offensively because your offense is so fucking predictable. It's way too predictable for me. So I thought distribution was probably the best part of this game because I thought Hurts spread the ball out pretty well to everybody on some of his progressions and what he was looking at. Jahan Dotson was actually targeted 4 or 5 times. Had a first down on a play and try to get him for a touchdown on another play, and they're trying to get him involved. It's just not working right now. And here's another thing, man. Like, besides A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, like, they need to get some of these other receivers involved, especially Jahan Dotson, give away a 3rd and a 7th round pick. I mean, I swear to God, if Jahan Dotson goes to another team right now, he's starting and he's probably producing for that team and doing a lot better than what the Eagles have treated him the last 6-7 fucking weeks. That's just to that point now. But AJ Brown's a stud. Devontae Smith's a stud. It's a fucking shame. I feel bad for these players that they have to deal with who's calling the shots behind the scenes in Philadelphia when it comes to play calling, I really feel bad for these players because I know there's some hungry guys out there that really want to hit, guys that want to make plays offensively and just want the offense to look different and just look more productive in that matter. Just some more adversity when it comes to play calling, just things that I'd be surprised over when I watch other teams. And the Eagles don't even show that at all. These vertical routes are just cop-out plays because they're easy, and you're literally you have to earn those big plays downfield, those vertical throws. You have to earn those. You have to get the run game going. You have to, even if it's 4 yards, 3 yards a carry, still you're getting the run game going. Check downs, make the defense worry. Challenge the defense that they have to worry about more than just throwing it downfield. The 2nd and 11 at the end of the game was just fucking ridiculous. That was a ridiculous play call because if that became incomplete, then you were down to one play. Thank God it was caught, but you know, it's one of the most aggravating things ever. So like I said, there are some positive things to take, but 2 weeks to prepare for the Cleveland Browns, one of the worst teams in the NFL, and this is what you come up with. It's already showing signs. The signs are already there that they're not changing anything, and Nick is going to do what he's doing, and he's going to heckle with the fans. It's amazing how he can heckle with the fans in the crowd, right? And talk his shit. But when Jalen Carter's in the Superdome and the Eagles win the game and he's trolling them and he's not even doing anything horrible, he's not trying to be violent or anything like that, and you have the balls to stop him. And I mean, it's so corny. It's the most corniest shit. It's corny. It's like really embarrassing and like it seems like he's on his last rope as the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sorry. We're going to be talking more about Nick Sirianni in the coming days, but this shit has got to stop. It's really got to stop, and they need to kick this. They need to fire him. They need to do something because this is not even demote him. Get him the fuck out of here. I'm telling you, because the Giants are going to make it a tough game. The Bengals are making it a tough game. The Dallas Cowboys are making it a tough game. Yeah, don't laugh now because once they face better talent later on, like the Lions, like Baltimore, like some of these other teams, yeah, we're going to get our asses kicked probably 30 plus, 40 plus points against us. It wouldn't shock me because we're trying to we're testing the Eagles right now to see what they can actually do against the Cleveland Browns. And then you got the Giants and then the Bengals and I mean, come on now. I mean, this is your test, and you're not even showing me that you could. I mean, it's embarrassing for the amount of talent that they have, especially on the offense, man. And this is all you and you put up 20 points. That's it. You're not getting into any playoffs averaging 20 points a game. It's not happening. It's not happening at all. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I know I was ranting and raving, but guys, I'm not happy. Look, like I said, the main issue is coaching, and then the second problem is the quarterback. But like I said, Hurts is following the game plan of what these coaches give him. The coaches are following the plan of what the analytics are given to them. But if I'm seeing Nick Sirianni have more control, not only for the offense, but he's actually picking plays for the defense, he's overruling, he's overriding Kellen Moore, and now you're overriding Vic Fangio, that is a fucking problem. A fucking issue. I can't even stand it, bro. Let me know what you guys think about this game, what this team's going to look like going forward. Give me your realistic opinion down in the comment section. If you guys didn't watch my live play-by-play reaction, definitely check it out. And I live stream Eagles games every single week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video because it helps out tremendously. And make sure you check out BetUS. Okay, 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Promotional code YouTube150. Okay, and start betting and start winning some money. And other than that, that's all I got to say. We got to win, and I'm happy they did. That's why I'm probably not flipping out as much, but I'm still very embarrassed on 2 weeks of getting prepared, and this is what you come out with. And, you know, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are not going to save you every fucking game. The talent only brings us so far. That's what brought us to 10-1 last year. We were tricked. We were bamboozled. We were lied to. It was a hat trick. I'm not falling for this shit. One win does not, this means nothing. If you think you're sneaking into a wild card game, a first seed, you ain't lasting. You're not going to last this way. You have to be dominant. You have to be very diverse in your play calling. Use these players to their strengths and get everybody fucking involved, because this is, we're gonna find out what the injury report is going to be the next few days. It's going to be interesting. Eagle fans are going to be fighting each other all day. It is what it is. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But we need to bear together and be in this thing together, because this is a bigger problem than Jalen Hurts. This is a fucking definite, huge, major red flag coaching problem. And that's where I'm at. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We won. Enjoy your week. Don't let this team stress you out. I'll keep you updated on things going on through the week, and we got some things to talk about tomorrow as well. So a couple of days. We'll be doing some things. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow side. Peace out, guys.